trained with Gunnar Nelson gym in New York.
Yep.
How has he progressed here in the UFC, in your opinion?
I've been very impressed with Gunnar. I think that Gunny is the kind of fighter who has this stoic approach to mixed martial arts, the fight game, which I think is a very important one. Not being emotionally connected to the fight is very important, and I think his last fight against Rick Story was a very important step in his progression as a mixed martial artist. It's rare that you find someone who remains perfect in this game, and I think that was a great lesson for Gunny to really learn that. I think number one, he needs to put together maybe more combinations when he strikes. I think he needs to learn how to breathe a little bit better when he fights as well. And I think he learned a little bit about how to wrestle a little bit better maybe in mixed martial arts. And these are things that we learn as we go. And we don't always learn everything when we're training. We do have to experience failure in order to rise up. And I think that last fight against Rick Story, I think Gunny really has learned a lot from it. And we'll see an evolved Gunnar Nelson. And I do like this matchup for him. I think Brandon Thatch is a very dangerous striker. Tall, big for the weight class, which may give Gunny some problems. However, I think Benson's last fight against Thatch showed that Thatch still isn't a high-level grappler. And Gunny, I think, is a superior grappler to Benson Henderson. So I think that this is a favorable matchup for Gunny.
Now, speaking of wrestling, you mentioned before at Henson Chris's gym, Gunny was one of the very few who could hold his own against GSP in wrestling.
Yeah, it was the first time that I ever saw George St. Pierre taken down in training or anywhere, and that just showed how talented Gunny is. You just don't see it. You don't see it, and you don't see it in MMA sparring. You don't see it in grappling. So for me, he had my respect immediately, and you know, Gunny is so talented, and he has the ability to stay so calm while he's in good positions, bad positions, and it just really impressed me, and I knew that he would be something special in this game.
These are two guys who are very promising. Do you think they can both be at the top 10 or even top 5 in the near future?
I do think so. Both guys are very talented. I think for Thatch, I think he needs to fill in those holes with his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. And for Gunny, I think he needs to fill in those holes a little bit with his wrestling and with his striking, especially. Being more comfortable in throwing combinations and getting those combinations to lead into his grappling, and you know, perhaps being a little bit more aggressive maybe with his striking, even with his ground and pound. So these are things that we're constantly you know, working on as a fighter, and I'm sure that Gunny will be figuring those out and filling in those holes as it goes.